Hi, this is Kat. Welcome to this webinar about in collaboration with policy work. My name is Cathie, and my topic today is about secrets to successful insurance reviewed. And this is a teaser here. I am giving away. Hi, I'm giving away this book. This book was officially launched in April 2018, 28 April 2018. And I'm giving away this book. There's only one criteria is that if you can tag two other friends and two other friends are able to join us on this meeting, which will end at 12 p.m. And just let us know, and then we will just do the needful to send you. And that is subject to three books. While stock lasts, this is my first edition. I'm planning for the second one. Okay, to cut it off short, I'll move on to the main content of the sharing. Okay, the title of my book, the sharing is Secrets to Successful Claims Review. Just a quick information about myself. I'm a self-published bilingual author. I'm a speaker and a founder of Beyond Wealth Services Private Limited. I'm thankful that Policy Work has given me this pocket of time to share my expertise of 24 years with insurance giant Prudential. Okay, let me introduce my. This is a bit of to wake people up on a Saturday morning. Yes, at least I'm awakened. Okay, let me talk about, before I start the session, I have a few disclaimer here. These are my three disclaimer. Number one, all my sharing here is based on my reflection of my expertise as an insurance agent with Prudential, as I mentioned, and it's from my 21st birthday to 30th of December 2016. So all this sharing are purely reflection. Second, all opinions are based on my own judgment and it has nothing to do with Prudential or my current company, Beyond Wealth Services. Last but not least, please do your due diligence when faced with claims-related matters, and you are advised to seek experts' advice and not from me, because I'm purely sharing on. I'm just sharing based on my past expertise. Okay, let's look at the next one. Okay, before I just want, I'm thankful for all who come on board, because it's on a Saturday morning. Some people who have chosen to sleep, but they wake up for me, and that is very nice. These are the key takeaways from my sharing. At the end of this 60 minutes of webinar, I hope that you'll be able to better prepare in the event of any of the three enemies of life. If you live too short, if you become total and permanent disabled, last but not least, if you were to contract of any of the dread diseases. Yeah. Next. Okay. When I was an insurance agent, we don't like to use the word death. So we always say, if you live too short, or if you are out of this picture. But now that I'm out of insurance, and also the bad fact that Chinese New Year is over, let's talk about death. Okay, my first death claim was back in August 2000. You realize it's nearly 22 years ago. My sharing is from this book, From Coffee to Coffin. I just want to share. Okay, this is my girlfriend. My girlfriend is a TCM doctor, and she bought a policy from me out of the fact that she wanted to support me, but she doesn't have much budget. So she said, Kat, I got $50. Can you work on something? So that $50, I look out to Prudential a policy. It's called Heritage Income Security. That particular policy was phased out shortly after my client took up the policy. She has a history of asthma many years ago, which I declared in the proposal form. They call it as asthma questionnaire. I gave all information about her condition, and Prudential accepted her policy at standard rate. So one day she called me and said, Kat, can you come over to my place for coffee? Because she said that she has rented a place. The place is very big. She wanted to make me coffee and we can talk. She was staying at Xinming. Xinming, I said, where is Xinming? At a point in time, I told myself, I said, I try. But at the back of my mind, I told myself, no lah, because too far, how to go? And it didn't come across to me that that was the last time I talked to her. So one day I received a call from very unusual call from a lady who was wailing away. I said, "Excuse me, who is that?" And she said, "Hey, Auntie Cat, my mom has passed away." She called me. She said, "I said, your mom?" I said, "Are you kidding?" I was not very sensitive, because I thought it was a joke. She said, No, my mom had passed away. I said, "How did your mom pass away?" I said, she said, "Oh, in the hospital." So then after that, she was telling me what happened. I said, "Never mind. I tell you what. I will come over to the wake." So my heart was very heavy because the mom just called me less than a month ago for a coffee. So the next time I saw her, she literally inside the coffin, and I cried buckets. I wailed so loudly until the daughter was so shocked by my expression, because this technically was my first claim. And she had to console me. Instead of me consoling her, she consoled me. I felt so embarrassed. And thereafter, after the whole thing over, I went to actually apply all the claims requirements. She was a single mother with 4 children. To date, I'm still in contact with at least one of the child. In fact, the same girl that called me, she got married some 10 years ago, and I was there to witness her wedding. And I was like tearing away. My husband said, "What are you trying to do?" I felt that I was like the mother witnessing the daughter walking down the aisle. It was moving because I felt that I represented the mother to see that her daughter get married on her big day. So that's why I say it's from coffee to coffin. One lesson that I learned is this: when people ask you for coffee, make time, because the next time you see them, they may end up in coffin. So it is to share with you that make time for people that are valuable to us. Yeah. So this is my first death claim. It happens nearly 22 years ago. The next one is the second enemy of life is actually total and permanent disabled. And this is perhaps my oldest, in fact, my earliest claim in July 1998. That was my first TPDB claim. In any insurance industry, the toughest claim is actually total and permanent disability. And the fact that I have the first claim so difficult is quite amazing, that it came to pass and the policy was paid. It was approved in July 1998, but it was submitted something like beginning of 1998. My This client of mine, he had headache, neck ache at that point in time, and he was working in a private hospital. So under private hospital, they got free medical, and then he went to the company doctor, and doctor say, "I can solve your problem, your neck ache problem. I just need to do a small surgery, your neck ache will be gone." True enough, the neck ache was gone, but something else happened. He lost the use of his two hands. And because he lost his use of the two hands, he was a chief chef in the hospital then. But because he lost the use of the two hands, he could not work at all. And then the company released him after 1 month plus, and gave him some golden handshake, and he left the industry. He has never returned as a chef. And that caused a lot of heartaches. And when he told me that he needed to do a claim, I did a claim for him. Because it was disability, there was a lot of documents needed to verify that he was truly disabled. And as a result, because of that, It's Prudential actually paid him a lump sum on July 1998. But because his policy had this feature whereby the insurance company will pay a 10% of the sum assured every year, as long as he was disabled, he continued to collect 10% of the sum assured until he reaches 65 years old. In fact, he should be in his late 60s or even 70 by now. And that was just 1 month before my daughter was born, about a few weeks after 1998 July. And I remember passing him the check. I said, I need to rush the check for you because if not, I'm going to give birth. And when my daughter was born, 3 weeks later, he bought a piece of gold chain for my daughter. I felt very bad because the claim amount was not that much. I said no to him. He said, no, you must take. This is for your daughter, not for you. As a result, the same gold chain is still with me until today. So this is how a simple neck ache can result into a heartache and even beyond. Yeah, this is it is very tough indeed. The last but not least is also the case that contracting illnesses. This I call it a hybrid policy because this client first claimed a dread disease and he passed on later. Okay, 02/02/2002 look very auspicious because that day a lot of people got married. But that day was the death anniversary of my client. In fact, this year's February 2nd was his 20 years of death anniversary. He was a mooncake seller and he has no more selling mooncake because he passed on. Okay, this policy is a policy that people don't like, especially those people who are against investment link policy. This particular policy was actually one of Prudential darling products in the 1990s. It's called Prudential Assurance Account. At a point in time, he told me he only got less than $150. So I worked out the plan for him. He signed the policy, and then in between, because he was not educated, he's Mandarin speaking, he has very limited what we call ability to earn income. So he did a few jobs. One of the jobs he did every mooncake festival is to bake the mooncake and sell. So because I wanted to support, encourage him, I always buy mooncake from him every year when he come and approach me. And then one day he called me and said, hey, then he was breathless. He was like, I said, hey, friend, what are you doing? He said, oh, I cannot breathe, no. I need to link to an oxygen tank. I said, huh? So it was so jialat, it's so serious. I said, come, I come and visit you. I went to visit him and he really talked to me like few minutes. Then he had to link to the oxygen tank. Every few minutes, he tell me, hold on, and he put on it. He said about 5 to 10 minutes, he has to link to the oxygen tank. I said, friend, like that is no good. Can let me try to help you to claim from Prudential under critical illness. And then he said, my policy run, I never pay 3 years, they got value. That point in time, the value, after not paying policies, his policy is about 5 years. After not paying policy for 1-2 years, there was still value. So I proceed to claim, and the claim information come out is that his condition was not serious enough for Prudential to pay. But my claim official said that out of goodwill, they pay up the dread diseases. It was like about 10% higher than what was intended under the definition. So Prudential paid the money. I got the check. I went to his house. I delivered the check. The parents were so happy. At least they thought that the money can help him to sustain and help to get a better treatment. Unfortunately, he ended up in ICU. Then I thought, maybe I should claim TPDB. So I said, I want to claim total and permanent disability. Unfortunately, they said cannot. I said, he's so serious already. They say, the company said, not the company, the hospital said they have to assess him end of February 2002. He was then admitted to ICU. And then I remember it was a Wednesday when I saw him. And I was pregnant again. I'm pregnant again on my third child. And the mother looked at me and said, please, you don't go in. It's not good for you. She is very traditional. She said, you stand aside, just wave to my son. So I actually waved to the son. And then this man in his 40s, he put a thumbs up. He said, very good. So I was assured. And then the mother said, no worry. Saturday, my son is going to be discharged. So I said, good lah, Saturday. So I went off happily. I thought Saturday he was discharged, which is 2nd February 2002. Guess what? On the 4th February 2002, which is on Monday, the mom called me. Then I said, Auntie, your son has been discharged. Congratulations. And then she said, no, I just collected the ashes for my son. I was like, hey, I thought he was supposed to discharge. He said the son passed away on Saturday. And then I said, why didn't you tell me? She said she didn't want to tell me because she knew that I will appear at the funeral wake. And she said it's not good because I was pregnant. I left with another 2 months. I will have given birth. So she said no. And that is where I started to claim the death left for him. And I told the hospital, forget about getting him to do any assessment. He is now dead. And then I did all the claims. And when the parents saw the money, the parents were very thankful because they always think that the son always run out of money. I told the mother, your son left not just this policy, he left another policy that he had been servicing, but he didn't know that policy he can let go. So from this incident, one of the two, he was the eldest out of 3 children, and he was the least qualified in terms of education and in terms of job opportunities. When the 2 younger brothers saw that the insurance company pay up, the brother told me, he said, I never spoke to this elder brother us because we thought he was good for nothing. But through the insurance policy that paid out, we realized that he actually cared for the family. So this particular policy actually gave back something very precious to this client of mine. It's called his dignity. So I changed the perception of him to him purchasing this policy. So let's talk about what are the tips to successful insurance claim. Okay, there are 3 important things that we look at when you want to make sure your insurance claim can be successful. 1, definitely the quality of your financial consultant, be it FC or financial consultant or be it independent financial advisor. The quality of the FC is in fact the most important. 2nd, you must make sure that you have full disclosure at the point of policy purchase. Last but not least, let's be more digital friendly and also better informed as policyholders. I'm going to move to the first thing. What do you mean by the quality of financial consultant? Number 1, look at the soft skills or do the financial consultant put mission before commissions? This one not very easy to diagnose, but somehow people have been very much educated. When the agent come to you, presenting you a case before you did even tell him what's your need, obviously the person is looking at commission before mission. Or this friend of yours, long time never appear, for 20 years never appear, suddenly call you, hi, I want to buy you a drink. Next moment they present you the proposal, you know they are after commission and not mission. So I have been in the industry for 24 years. There are times when my client just meet me just to have a drink. And we make it clear that if we are not talking about insurance, I don't mention, we just have a drink. So the mission before commissions is very important, because if you see your mission as an insurance agent, the commissions will come. But if you see the customer as a commission to your next Lamborghini, your next Maserati, or your next property, something is very wrong. Sorry to tell you, when I see insurance agents standing beside a luxurious car, I ask myself this question: what do you show to your client? What is your image that you show? You show that because of your client you have the car, or what? I have never shown myself next to my car, never shown myself next to my house, because I realize that if this is what they perceive, I think my mission has already gone. All they see on my face is S11, commission before mission. I'm thankful that most of my clients see me as a mission-minded agent and not a commission-minded agent. Okay, the second thing is, how do you know? Basically, the client must have 3H. The agent must have 3H. The agent must have, number one, the knowledge of what to sell to you. They don't even have knowledge how to sell. Number two, they must have a heart to feel for you. If you say, I got $200 budget, if the agent increase your budget to $1,000, can you do them a favor? Ask them to go and fly kite. Because they don't even know what type of comfort level you're talking about. And number three, if you call the agent today, the agent take 1 month later to help you with your something, your whatever your matter, something is wrong. The head has to link to the heart, and the heart has to link with the hands. But we cannot also expect agent you call at 10 p.m. tomorrow, everything in place. I think that's been unrealistic because agents also have families. I have a system when I was in Prudential. Wednesday is my official off day. Sunday is my church day. So if anybody look for me, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Sunday, I don't talk about insurance. Wednesday, zero. So my client knows that they can expect to hear from me any other day except Wednesday and Sunday. As there are case by case whereby the person can only off on Sunday, I'll make provision on a case by case basis. So we really need to look for agent with a head, the heart, and hands. And the other thing that I find beneficial is regular policy reviews. When I was with Prudential, I normally review my husband every half a year. I was his insurance agent. So every half a year, I said, yeah, let's talk about insurance. And it was so important because during this time, we can look at some of the gaps. Not that I want to sell the policy, but to understand and also give him an overview, what coverage do we have as a family. And first thing first, in insurance, the agent should touch a few things. Number one, what is your insurance does your insurance has got nominations? Whether it's a statutory nomination under 49L or is it a non-stat trust of 49M. If the agent don't even talk about nominations in the insurance, something is very wrong because insurance nomination is one of the quickest way to pay up to the immediate family, to the nominees, as long as it is valid. I give you an example. If you buy a policy with Prudential, let's say 100,000 for simplicity, and then you actually nominate your spouse as your nominees. When there's a claim arise, the clear cut is death arise, this money will go straight to your nominee, which is the spouse, without going through a tedious way of probate, letter administration, nothing, because insurance nomination is instituted by law, effected by law, and there's nothing, nobody contests. They just send straight to your nominees. This, I always tell my client, please have insurance nomination in place because it is free and is immediate upon death. Immediate after death claim approved, the payout will go straight to the nominees. Except for your children below 18 years old, 21 years old, that one is minors. Except for it's normally is except for minors. Other things, unless the other person is bankrupt, then there are some form of bankruptcy rules that applies. But other than that, the insurance money will go straight to the nominees. CPF nominations is also very important because this is an area whereby the money of whatever money is CPF upon death of a CPF member, the money will be paid to the nominees. If you don't nominate, good for you lah. Then you have to go through a long process of public trustees. There may be a fee, but CPF nomination, just be aware is that when the person divorce does not void CPF nominations. So assuming the person single, they got married, please go and do your nominations. And after you bye-bye to your spouse, please go and redo your nomination. I'm not advocating bye-bye, but in case you have to no choice but to give up the marriage for some reason I don't understand, then please do a clear-cut renomination. If not, your nominee will end up to be your ex-spouse. If you love your ex-spouse so much, go ahead. Of course, there are things like wills, There's outside insurance, outside CPF. There are things like lasting power of attorney. LPA is very important now, especially because there are people who has lost. It's called like a living will, because when a person's lost ability to think, to be able to be in, especially in the area, or when people are in some form of, like my husband's case, when he was stricken with raw fish, he was on, it was an ICU for 10 days. During that time, if at the point of time they did not have, then who is going to say how, what to let go, remove the life support system or whatever? So lasting power attorney is very important. I had it instituted for myself, and few years ago I got it done for my husband. You only need the form, as well as either you engage a lawyer or a doctor to prove that you are mentally sound. I prefer doctor because the cost is cheaper. But if you do have means and then you have extensive instructions, please look out for your attorney. I think they will do a much comprehensive job. And there's last thing, talking about end of life planning. End of life planning is like, some people, like myself personally, I tell the children, anything happens, don't link me to any system of support. I need to die naturally. So these are some of the not very comfortable topics, but it's very needful topics. I'm thankful I'm an insurance agent. I can talk about death all my life because I've been trained to face death of un, unprecedented death cases of any kind. So I won't shy off from death in this case. This is the very important thing about financial consultant. And next, this is so important. Full disclosure at the point of policy purchase. There's a principle that insurance company, and in fact most insurance, life, general, they always use. It's called the principle of utmost good faith. What, in simple terms, is that insurer and the policyholder, they must disclose all material facts before the commencement of the insurance contract. Insurer usually give you a chunk and chunk of documents and policy, or called benefit illustrations. One benefit illustration for a shield plan can go up to 30 pages. Very scary. That's the minimum. So insurer have given you all the material facts. The policyholders have to give all the material facts. And then when they sign at the dotted line, when the policyholder sign the dotted line as a proposer, that means they must exercise this good faith. Failure which the insurer can throw out the policy, refund you the premium, and stop the coverage. So this is very important for policyholders. I give you an example of that client who has got asthma. I was not sure whether she was be able to cover under the coffee to coffin scenario. And then I told her, you give me all the details. I fill up about asthma. She was hospitalized I think like 10 days here and there in 20 years ago. When Prudential underwriter looked at the case, they accepted the case. So when I called the claims department, they asked me the first question, has she reviewed that she has asthma? I said, yes, I have submitted the asthma questionnaire to Prudential. The next question, the insurance company, the claims officer say, if she has done that, that means we will help to expedite the claim. So Prudential is very clear. You have already reviewed this is a condition. Prudential accepts your conditions. Prudential takes your condition. Prudential pay valid claims. The second thing is very seldom people know of, is called the incontestability clause. Okay, in simple terms, this is in Singapore's context. If a policy has been enforced for 2 full years, that means 24 months, the insurer may not afterward refuse to pay the proceeds or cancel the contract for any reason except for non-payment premiums. What it does mean to say, a policy bought in 1st January 2020, crossover 1st January 2022. Then after that, the client forgot that 5 years ago, the client got asthma. Then after that, the client died of asthma, example. The insurance company will not look at the case that seriously not to pay up, because number one, to the insurance company's thinking, I got it from my claims officer last time. If the policy is very early claim, first 2 years is super early claim. So if the policy cross over 2 years, 3 years, the insurer always want to pay up valid claims. So usually insurer will pay up as long as it cross over 2 years. unless it's outright cheating the insurance company. That is a different story. This is in the case of the client for oversight forgot to declare. Third thing is a lot of people think that suicide don't pay. There's a clause called suicide clause. Some countries have 2 years, but in Singapore, as far as Prudential that I used to work with, it usually cover after 12 months from the date of policy purchase. So assuming the person bought the policy on 1st January 2021, crossover January 2022, they technically, this is not advisable. If they kill themselves, must die lah. No death, they end up in jail, by the way. If they kill themselves and they really died, the insurance company is liable to pay because of the suicide clause. This is in the case of Singapore's context. And my case is Prudential because I have been with Prudential 24 years. And that's the only insurance company I have. So this full disclosure is very, very important for any claims to be paid. Okay, let me see. Okay, where is my... Okay, number 3. Not because going smart, insurance company has upped their digitalization efforts, and we can actually become they have apps also. Example, number 1, to do a DIY, you can set up account with insurers. For me, I'm a Prudential customer, I am a GE customer, I have Pro Access, I have Upgrade, and the other time is I had Aviva. Aviva don't have the app, but you can go straight, but Aviva recently just changed hands. So you have things like Pro Access from Prudential, Upgrade from GE, AIA Vitality, etc. So as a customer, it's good to be proactive to set an account so that you can access your policy details, when the premium due, whether is it under gyro or what type of values. You can even check in Prudential's context, you can even check a benefit illustration of your policy before maturity. So this, you can actually do it on your way in case you cannot reach your agent or the agent has left. This is a very important now that everything has gone digital friendly. And of course, for me, I access Prudential's website a lot because most of my policies from Prudential. So whether it's in claims, I need information, I go to Prudential website, nominations, change of address, and gyro application. Okay, recently I have a claim for one of my family members, which is linked to PruShield. So after doing all the claim, there are some bills for post hospitalization, which is claimable. What I did was I did an e-submission, and through the policy number, I did it on behalf of my husband. So everything in, and then in about less than about 3 working days, it has been approved. And then another few days time, they send out the check. So e-submission for claim has stepped up as has improved tremendously. In fact, recently, one of my friend told me that was an AIA policy also under integrated plans. The person has got the bill of, I think, more than 10,000. And then once the insurance company approved the claim, this person did an e-submission. If I'm not wrong, that one is AIA. And then within within 24 hours to 48 hours, the claim has been approved. Everything through e-submission. And now insurance company even can credit money to you via your valid pay now account. So it has tremendously changed the face of insurance. Fintech has moved so fast. You can actually get back your money through pay now if you have your mobile phone linked to your bank account. This is how advanced insurance has gone. So I'm very impressed actually. Okay, let's talk. Okay, I have spoken for 36 minutes. This is Q&A. Anybody who wants to ask question that's related to insurance and claim, I will answer to my best of ability. And my information is updated to 30th December 2016. So any questions? If not, let me see. I thought I saw some questions somewhere. Where is the... I thought I saw a questions. Hold on. Is there a questions that I can answer? Okay, just quick one. Just now I saw... Okay, wait. Let me stop sharing a while first. There was one question that was asked of me. Okay, thank you. Thanks, Ethan. There was one question that was okay. There were two questions that were asked was quite related. If 1 week ago and 5 days ago is talking about if the insurance company that underwrites my insurance policy has merged with another insurance company recently, I think there's one or two. Does the merger impact my chances of successful insurance claim? Okay, these two questions are related because HSBC also recently took over AXA policy. Okay, this is my I have very good relationship with my claims department when I was in Pru. My head of claims, she's now with AIA actually. She did tell me one thing, and she shared also in our training. He say, uh, as far as insurance company are concerned, we want to pay up valid claims. Valid claims, as the name implies, means to say if the client comes in with full disclosure, they never lie, and it crossed over 2 years, everything fulfill the definition. Death is quite direct lah. It's like definition of critical illness or definition of disability. The insurance company desire is to pay up the claim as long as the claim is valid. So whether the insurance policy is has been merged, let's say HSBC took over AXA, or any other opportunities of merging of insurance company, the insurance company main key role, especially life insurance, is to pay up valid claims as long as you fulfill the definition of having full disclosure of the material fact and you match the principle of utmost good faith. So the answer is yes, they will pay for valid claims. Okay, Anonymous, can I switch insurance agent without affecting my insurance policy because of feel that my agent uh, yes, obviously you can. In fact, when you are an insurance customer, you have full rights to change the insurance agent. But only thing is the new agent that is taking over your policy will not earn any commission. The commission, if the policy is less than 5 years, the commission will still go back to your original agent. So your new agent may not be that enthusiastic to take over your policy because the first agent could have benefited from collecting the policy's premium and commission without even servicing you. So the agent will be very happy to let you go to be serviced by a new agent. It's not fair, but currently it's a situation. Back in 2016, it was a situation. I hope it changed, but since I talked to some of my friends in Prudential, didn't change yet. So I don't know when it changed. It should be changed, but at this point in time, from my knowledge, it is the second agent got nothing, no commission to service your policy. Yeah. You talk about LPA. What's the difference between LPA and Advanced Medical Directive? Yeah. Okay, this is based on my layperson. You can find it out. Okay, LPA is actually like a living will. That means to say the person already have some form of mental incapacity to act. They actually have to nominate at least one, they call it donee, to actually make decision in the area of it could be in the area of medical, it could be in the area of disposal of properties, cash or whatever. So that is LPA is like a living will. You're still living, but your brain is not functioning. That has that capacity to function is called LPA. Advanced Medical Directive is in a case when the person's very, very, very terminally ill already, and you have to go through a few medical specialists that prove that there's no way to revive you. And then at a point in time, the person will have gone through what we call palliative care. That means it's already gone case already. And that is where the person say, I don't want to link with any if the person say I don't want to link to any life support, I want to die peacefully, that is advanced medical care. So these two are different. LPA is for cases of inability of the mental capacity, but advanced medical directive is when a person is already going to be meeting the maker anytime. So that's it. Yeah. What is the yes? Any other questions? Any burning question, one or two? Thanks for your question. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yes, sir. Anything else before I move on to recapping what I've shared? Wow, looks I don't have. So thankfully, maybe my sharing is a bit too. Yeah, let's talk about. Let me move to share my screen. Okay, let's talk about recap. Okay. So this sharing about secrets to successful insurance claim reviewed. Basically, I just look at three enemies in life. I call 3Ds. I don't buy 4Ds, but it is 3Ds. It's talking about death when you live too short, disability when the person is unfortunately stricken with total and permanent disability, and third, when if the person's is stricken with dread diseases. So these are the three enemies in life. Of course, there's another one called when if you live too long, that's under retirement. But these are the three enemies I focus on. And the three tips to successful insurance claim, as I mentioned, financial consultant, the quality is very important. I'm talking about someone with head knowledge, a heart knowledge, and the hands to reach out to the clients. Two is full disclosure of policy at the point of purchase is perhaps the single most important. When agent tell you no need to declare, no need to declare. When in doubt, declare. But you don't declare any single headache, you also want to declare, hey, yesterday I got headache because I scolding my children. That one is not counted, huh? Or you have a quarrel with your mother, that one's not counted. So the headache must be like, it lingers until it bothers you. Then you declare. And of course, thirdly is be digitally friendly and be better informed policyholder. And let me next. Okay, this is how you reach me. You can reach me from Google. You Google Cathie Chew and Mr. Sim Tan Chu, my husband. You will see it. You can find me on Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram. You see Princess Cathie A8, Twitter Catherine Sim, YouTube. You can look. The video just now I showed was all in Princess Cathie A8 or Wawa Club. And till we meet again. Last year I have a privilege of sharing from setback to comeback with two persons with disability, Mr. Tan, as well as my husband, Mr. Sim. So on top of Mr. and Mrs. Tan, and myself and my husband. On the right side, you see that I have recently launched an SG56 book edition, which is my final edition, from raw milk to real deal, and it's a two-in-one book. The front is English version and the back is Chinese version. I also have got this book that are giving away up to 3 persons. 3 books, Get Raw with Real Agent, and then definitely, okay, let me go. And then I have got this book that is totally sold out, Get Raw with Real Age. It got that book. That book will likely to be in the form of bilingual when I make time to turn it into a bilingual book. So that's the end. Till we meet again, I am looking at a program that I share personal testimony of how my husband and I and my family benefited from the insurance policy that purchased. And the title of the sharing is From Zero to Hero, and how our life has been dignified because of the power of the miracle of paper and ink, life insurance. So I will likely share extensively how after 6 years of my husband's incident, we are still in uh, healthy, healthy financially because of the power of two things: power of policy review that we do very regularly, and number two, the power of adequate financial and insurance planning. Yeah. So that ends my session. Any other questions before some people got burning question? Okay, let me stop sharing, and any other burning question I can answer one or two. If not, I can pass over to Ethan. Wait, any other
Uh,
question? Any burning question?
Hi, Cathie. I think there's one more question. The question is with regard to claims. When customer makes a mistake, what's your experience with appeals?
Oh, question is what mistakes do the customer makes? Okay, I give example. What mistake do they fill in the wrong information or do they mistakes? Because very
Maybe
general.
you can talk about a typical one or two common mistakes that you face before lah. Those that did their claims and they need to appeal.
Okay, I have cases. Okay, let's talk about cases of appeal. Yeah.
Cases of appeal.
I got one. Wow, that one very sad. I still feel very sad until today. Okay. There was not a mistake, but the client, my client is a very he was a very handsome, dashing man, young man. We were same age, so if he's living today, he should be close to 50. I just review my age first. Okay, never mind. Yeah. So he actually before he went over to overseas studies in Australia, he told me, Kat, I said, let's meet. So we met over a meal before he went to Australia to study. I said, friend, I tell you, you went overseas study, you need to increase the coverage. At that point in time, he has a pooling policy, which 100% focus on investment. So his coverage very little. It's like less than about 10, 20,000. I said, friend, you don't have to increase your premium. You just have to stretch it to maximum coverage. You pay the same premium, but at the point in time, you need to pay $30 for admin. I don't earn anything, but at least your coverage is more expanded rather than that amount. That time he could increase the coverage to up to 150,000 with the same premium and $30 admin fee. Then you look at me, Cat, no worry. I will be coming back with an honors degree. I say, it's not I worried lah. I say, you can add this thing, you can add accident. He said, no worry, I'll come back in one piece. So, okay lah, one piece lah. So, he really came back in one piece actually. 1 year later, I received a call from him. I didn't even know him because he talked to me. He said, Cat. I said, who is that? I thought it was scam call I want to put down. Cat, do you know me? Very scary. I said, excuse me, who is that? Who is that? Do you know me? Okay, I call him. I said, Tom. I said, I don't know you lah. Who is that? Then I realized it was that handsome, dashing young man. He had a very serious accident. He was driving a van together with few friends at the back, and then the whole van was hit with a trailer. Literally, I don't know how big trailer. He was comatose for 3 months in Australia. One of the friends became disfigured. One of them died instantly, and the one who slept throughout the trip, he only has bruises. So all in all, the total people who were affected, I think, was about 5, including him. And the mother said, excuse me, what my son buy the policy? I explained to her. And then because you see my son can work or not? I said, he doesn't look like he can work because he wear a lot of, he got a lot of things. He got Buddha, he got cross, everything around his neck, Every morning he will call me, Cat, what are you doing? I was so scared. I was so traumatized. He looks like he's out of this world already. I was like, how? So in the end, I told the mother, the policy can only claim 2 things, death, disability, and some cash value. So I said, I tried to claim a disability for your son. In the end, the thing was thrown out. It was not admissible because according to the insurance company, he can work in any occupation. And then in the end, the mother very fed up. She said, I don't care. I cancel the policy. The policy was very little. I think was like a few thousand only. And guess what the mom did? The mom went to the insurance company, Prudential customer, every week to show the son. He said, my son like that. You think anybody will employ him? She appeared many weeks. I think at least 4 or 5 times. To the point, Prudential re-look at the case and pay up the money out of goodwill. I know it because there was letter in that suddenly Prudential pay up. I said, this case is not admissible. Why is it paid? And then when I called the insurance company, which is my claims officer colleague, they told me it's purely goodwill that they pay. I felt I don't know what to feel. I don't know how to call because I could not admit this claim. It was an appeal. It was appeal from the mother who appeared 4 times, 6 times in front of the claim officer, and they pay up out of goodwill. So this case is very unfortunate. In fact, he was sued by the rest of their friends' parents in order to get the money, because in Australian law, they have to sue him in order to get payout. Until today, I feel so sad. I couldn't locate my friend anymore. It is a sad case. A highly intelligent guy, because of an accident, he totally became somebody I've never imagined knowing. I know something is amiss. The brain is not working as what he used to work lah. So this is a case of appeal. But there is this thing whereby I have customers who submitted thing. They thought that the thing is not important to declare. So they fill in. They say nothing lah, nothing lah. Then when there's a claim arise, if it's a integrated insurance scheme plan, it is very, very sticky. There are people who didn't declare some pertinent condition, and then they end up in the hospital having to do a surgery on that condition. The insurance company will investigate. What they do is they are very good at investigating. They'll find the doctors around your house, maybe like within 3 or 5 kilometers. And then they realize that if it's not declared, the insurance company will throw out the claim. I have cases where the person didn't declare and insurance company throw out the claim. After appeal, answer is no, because it is an obvious non-disclosure of material fact. This is very sticky, especially for integrated shield plans. So very careful with integrated shield plans. And then the worst thing is sometimes they drop you and they don't cover you at all. And then you stuck down there, and then now you got your operation, and then the insurance company don't want you already. So wow, that is tough. So far, I've not seen Prudential dropping my client. Non-disclosure, they exclude the condition. They actually don't pay up the claim, but the rest are still covered. I think it's been a very fair and just decision by the insurer, actually. So this thing, I think the question is when the agent tell you don't need to declare this, don't need to declare that. Then when there's a claim arise, then the agent and the customer are on conflict. He said, hey, I tell you, you never put in the form. The agent said, got meh? Got meh. And after that, I tell you, got meh. And then conflicts between what the agent say, what the customer claim, and what the agent say. And that is where there's no black and white. The insurance company will take things in black and white. And that caused a lot of strain between the customer and the insurance agent. And then the customer concluded the insurance company bluff people. They are the scammers of today, And there's cases of this happen. And the worst thing is when the agent left the industry. And then the customer say until cows come home. He said, hey, I told the agent, but the agent left. There's no way to reach out to the agent. The agent is no way to be found. And then the customer left high and dry. And there's nothing the insurance company can do because the customer insisted they told the ex-agent. So this is very, very painful. I have my own appeal against insurance company, but not against, once against Pru and another against some general insurance company. But that one cannot share here because they will take up a lot of time. That will be unlikely from my last webinar from zero to hero, and that one was more extensive because that focused on my claim for my husband after he was brought down by the raw fish. Yeah, so this is what I can share up to 30th December 2016. Any other burning question? I don't have already because left with 4 minutes. Yeah, 4 minutes. Any burning question? Nothing to. Any burning questions? It looks like okay, I give one last question, simple one, if there's any. If not, I must hand over to the expert or all expert Liao, Ethan Loh. Okay, I can brief 1 minute. 1 minute. Yeah. That's my coffee.
Okay, maybe I'll just talk in terms of technicality. For insurance company, like you say, they all are looking at black and white. So an insurance contract is drafted like a lawyer contract. So for everyone who's listening to this, do take note. They go by the book, really by the definition. So you must understand the definition and the technical definition behind it. So don't feel bad that when you claim that, but this is what I think it is, right? But sometimes what you think is not what the definition says. So you have to be very careful.
Yeah. Looks like I don't have. Thankfully, nobody is burning with question. Anyway, March 19, I could come up with a hybrid event. I really don't know because of the pandemic. Yeah, so I will rethink. I will rethink my final sharing. So without further ado, I will pass over my friend my time to friend Ethan. Ethan will be sharing on traded endowments and how does traded endowment work, right? Yep. So
Okay.
for now, anything they just reach out to me on Facebook. I can bye bye Liao. Okay, hand over to Ethan. Hey, must clap there. Who got? Okay. Clap. Virtual clap also can. Okay.
Virtual clap.
Over to you, Ethan.
Okay, so thank you, Katie. Okay, so my sharing will like a bit of a commercial break already. Yeah. Okay, just kidding. Okay, we are very honored and thankful for Katie to introduce us because she's one expert over here already. So this is what we'll be sharing. Okay, so we are going to talk about us, what we are doing, and we believe that our trade is still not well known in the market, or at least people maybe hearsay, but don't know what we are doing. So at least we are here to clarify a bit of what we are doing and how can actually things be done over for resale and traded endowment. Okay, so first things first, we'll introduce the team. Okay, so this is our amazing team. Okay, you see the guy inside at the top right. Okay, that's Jimmy. Okay, he's actually our CTO, our chief tech officer. He handles most of the technology, and we are happy that he's on board. Okay, we also have David, our co-founder. He's not here today, but he is actually one of very brilliant businessman. So that's why we have him on board. And of course, as myself as the founder, where I actually thought of the idea and I was so happy to share with my co-founders about it. Okay. So okay, in order to move on, we also have some basic understanding core terminology, or basically what you need to understand the difference. So there's different insurance, but we actually focus on those savings plan that have cash value. So it can be endowment, it can be annuity, it can be universal life, it can whole life, or even ILP, but that's very specific and complex. So we'll share something more simple and straightforward. Endowments. So in order to understand how this whole traded endowment work, right? Okay. Sorry. Before that, understand the different life companies that in Singapore we have all AIA, AXA, Etika, HSBC, all the more lemon. They call the not so well known but still well known enough. Like Manulife and Tokio Marine. The well known ones I don't think I'll need to share. Yeah, so these are life companies in Singapore. Of course, there are others. Even those that we may not have heard of. Okay, so what is actually absolute assignment? So it's basically transferring the rights of the policy from one person, which is called the assigner, the one who actually holds it before, to another, the person who wants to have the policy, which is the assignee. So from here you can see that okay, what is the assignment is actually to transfer the rights from one person to another. So do take note that most of your policies you can actually transfer the ownership. So this is what is called assignment. Absolute assignment is transferring all the rights. All the rights. So assignment is just transferring. Absolute is everything. So just know these two. Okay, so let's have an example. Okay, we have Helen and we have Ivan. So let's say Helen is the one who bought the policy. Okay, so inside a savings plan contract, okay, there are actually four individuals. The life assured, the person whose life is covered, the owner, the individual person who actually owns the plan, the payer, the one who pays the plan, the premium, and the beneficiary, the ones who benefits from the plan payout. So usually for a savings plan, it is the same person. All these 4 person is the same person as so okay, I highlighted the top is because this is the one that cannot be changed. This is the one that cannot be changed. So let's dive on to the actual example. Okay, so take a look at this savings plan. So you can see that the life assured, the owner, the payer, and beneficiary is all under Helen, the first person who owns the contract. This is what actually one of the example that we had, but we just changed the name. Okay, so now policy will actually buys over the savings plan from Helen. So you can see on the right, okay, so there's some changes already. You see the life assured can never be changed. But the owner, payer, and beneficiary can actually be changed. So this is how it is done when we buy over. So I won't go through the process, it's a bit complex also. So you may wish to understand more, you just go to our website to take a look. But we are going to share this, just the simple process, how it's done. Okay. So let's say Ivan, he saw the savings plan from us. So he's thinking, okay, so I shall buy it. So he approached us. He paid for the savings plan to take over. And now, okay, on the right, you see, the life assurance still does not change, but the owner, payer, and beneficiary still change. So this is how you can actually buy or sell your own savings plan. Okay. And this is also another example that we have on our website. Okay, so these are the frequently asked questions when people always hear us talk about, you can sell your saving plan or you can take over other people's saving plan. The most important thing, what if Helen passes on? Because life assured doesn't change, you see, the life assured doesn't change. So what if Helen passes on? So what do you think happens? As with all normal insurance policy contract. So the beneficiary will be the one who will get the payout. So the beneficiary will get the death benefit. Okay, so now comes the next one, more important one, because Ivan is the one who bought over the policy. So what if Ivan passes on when before the saving plan matures? Okay, because the life assured is Helen. So Helen is, let's say you don't know, maybe she's still alive. She's still alive. But the Ivan, the owner, has died. So because this is an asset, so where does it go into? Into the people's estate. So if Ivan passes on, the savings plan will just go into estate. So it needs to be managed by the estate. And once the savings plan matures, then the money will go into the estate. So if anyone takes over the savings plan, it may be a bit of a difficulty. So it's good if you can talk to an estate planner to facilitate what you want to do if the owner passes on before the savings plan matures. So this is what the frequently asked questions we had from our clients. Okay, so this is the end of the small sharing we have. So if you want to look for us, just look at our website, our Facebook, even our Telegram, and on LinkedIn. And if you want to know more, can even scan on the QR code over here. Yeah. So I have shared everything. So now I'll pass it back to Jimmy to end off the whole session. Yeah, Jimmy.
Okay, just give me a while.
Sure.
Okay, hi everyone. This is Jimmy from Policy Work, as what Ethan has introduced during his sharing. Okay, thank you for tuning into our webinar. So now it's time for our Q&A again. Okay. So let me check the Slido page, see if there's any more questions. Okay, if there's no more questions, then let me share one slide. Okay. Let me check if it's working. Okay, can. Okay,
Jimmy,
so
I
if
think
there's
Katie did type 1. So she's asking whether can anyone do nomination if they buy the traded endowment?
okay.
Yeah, so you can still do nomination, but just be mindful that the nomination, if it's done, it must be the something happen to the life assured, then the nomination will kick in. Else the nomination will not kick in. Yes. So if something happen to the owner, it doesn't kick in. So it must be something that happened to the life assured, then the nomination will kick in.
Okay, cool. Thanks, Ethan.
Jimmy, I can see your live dashboard now.
Okay, sorry.
No problem.
Okay. So, okay, any more questions? Okay, if no more questions, then let me share one slide. Okay, again, thank you for tuning into our webinar. So in this current slide, you see two different QR code. You can scan the QR code on the left, which is a direct page to our list of social channels. So do like us on Facebook, YouTube, Telegram, and LinkedIn, so that you can receive updates from our page to view more future content. All right. And of course, in our Facebook live comment, there's a link to follow Cathie on Facebook if you like to. Okay, so let me check on Slido if there's any more questions before we end the webinar. Maybe just another 10 or 15 seconds. Okay, so I have one question incoming. So the question is, okay, I quote, I think this is question regards to nominations. The question is, do you mean Helen nominee will become the buyer? Question mark. So, Ethan, can you answer this?
Oh, so no, we mean that Helen wants to give up their policy. And Ivan is the one who wants to buy the policy from Helen, let's say.
Okay, great. Okay, any more questions? Let me check Slido one more time. Okay, so if there's no more questions, okay, Ken. Sorry, yeah. Let me check again. Okay, so again, thank you for tuning in. If you have not scanned the QR code to follow us on our social channel, please do so. We will continue to share more kind of content in future to add value to you. Okay, the QR code on the right is directly to our website, so do check it out. So again, if there's no more questions, thank you for tuning in. We hope to see you again online or in person. If you have any inquiries with regards to all these trading or savings plans. So take care and stay safe and have a good week ahead. Again, thank you everyone, and goodbye.
Okay. Goodbye.